In today's episode of Inside the Mind, we're going to explore something most men never understand: what actually happens in a woman's mind when she realizes you've genuinely moved on. This audio recording includes subtitles so you can follow along more intentionally and absorb the ideas at your own pace. What if I told you that the moment she realizes she's truly lost you isn't when you walk away? It's not when you stop texting. It's not even when she sees you with someone new. It's when she recognizes something has fundamentally shifted inside of you, something she can no longer access. Most men get this completely wrong. They think ignoring her or playing games creates the effect. But that's just temporary smoke and mirrors. I'm talking about the profound psychological impact that occurs when a woman who once had emotional ownership over you realizes that ownership has expired permanently. Let's break down the 5 stages she goes through when this realization hits her. Stage 1. The disruption of patterns. The first thing she notices isn't what you say, it's what you don't. That energy she's grown accustomed to feeling from you, gone. That slight eagerness in your voice when she calls, vanished. The way you used to orbit slightly in her direction when in the same room, disappeared. Women are pattern recognition experts. They detect subtle shifts in emotional dynamics that most men aren't even aware they're projecting. When these patterns suddenly change, it creates cognitive dissonance. Her brain is receiving signals that contradict her established understanding of your dynamic. This isn't about you acting cold or distant. Those are games anyone can play. This is about your genuine emotional attention having moved elsewhere, and she can feel it. The anxiety this creates isn't just about losing you. It's about losing her place in your mental hierarchy. For perhaps the first time, she's experiencing what it feels like to be replaceable in your world. And that feeling, it's quietly devastating. You see, we all want to feel irreplaceable to someone, to know that the space we occupy in another person's life is uniquely ours. When that certainty dissolves, it shakes something fundamental in our sense of security. She might not show it immediately. She might not even fully recognize it herself. But deep down, those disrupted patterns are setting off alarm bells she can't easily silence. Stage 2. The realization of value. When a woman knows she has a man's full attention, his genuine desire, she experiences a form of security, not just relationship security, but the primal security of knowing her value is recognized. But when she senses she's lost you, that security evaporates. Suddenly, the emotional investment she took for granted becomes painfully clear in its absence. Think about something you use every day: electricity, running water, internet. You don't think about its value until it's gone, right? That's how your attention feels to her now. She begins mentally cataloging all the ways you added value to her life that she never fully appreciated. The way you listened when no one else would. The stability you brought to chaotic situations. The unique perspective you offered that no one else in her life provides. This isn't about manipulation or punishment. It's about natural consequences. When something valuable is lost, its worth becomes crystal clear. And here's what most men miss. This realization of value isn't something you can create by pretending or playing hard to get. It only happens when your focus has genuinely shifted elsewhere. Because women don't just hear your words or watch your actions. They feel your energy, and energy doesn't lie. It's like suddenly noticing the absence of background music that's been playing all along. The silence becomes deafening in its contrast. Everything you brought to her life, the support, the challenge, the understanding, stands out in sharp relief now that it's no longer available. And this awakening to your value, it's often accompanied by a sinking feeling that she may have drastically miscalculated. Stage 3. The collapse of future projections. We all carry mental movies about our future, the vacations we'll take, the home we might share, the inside jokes that will develop over years. When she realizes she's lost you, those future projections collapse. It's like a building being demolished from the inside. Suddenly, all those mental pathways that included you, consciously or unconsciously, hit dead ends. This creates a vacuum in her mind. Nature abhors a vacuum, and her thoughts rush to fill it with questions. Who will be there on future birthdays? Who will she call when she gets good news? Who will understand her references to that trip, that joke, that moment? This isn't just losing a relationship. It's losing an entire timeline she had partially built in her mind. And unlike a normal breakup, where there's often still hope of reconciliation, when she truly feels she's lost you, when your energy has genuinely moved on, she faces the paralyzing truth that this particular future is permanently closed. That's when panic often sets in. There's something uniquely disorienting about having to rewrite your future, Even if she wasn't consciously planning a life with you, your presence formed part of the backdrop against which she imagined her days unfolding. Now, she has to reimagine everything without that element. It's not just about losing a partner, it's about losing a version of her future that felt real, that felt certain. And certainty, even in small doses, is something we all crave more than we admit. Stage 4. The identity crisis. Here's where it gets even deeper. Relationships don't just connect two people, they create mirrors. She's been seeing aspects of herself reflected through your eyes for however long you've known each other. When that mirror disappears, parts of her self-perception become suddenly unstable. The version of herself that exists when she's with you, the woman who makes you laugh in that specific way, who knows exactly how to calm you down, who felt especially beautiful because of how you saw her, that version of her no longer has a place to exist. This triggers what psychologists might call a minor identity crisis. Not because she can't exist without you, but because the particular dynamic between you brought certain aspects of her personality to the surface. Now she must reconstruct parts of her identity without that specific reflection you provided. This isn't something most women will openly admit to experiencing. It happens in quiet moments, in the space between thoughts, when she catches herself wondering if she's still the same person without your perspective shaping her self-image. It's profoundly disorienting. Think about it this way. Each significant relationship we have brings out different facets of who we are. With one person, we might be more adventurous. With another, more intellectual. With you, she was some unique combination of qualities that felt natural and right. Without that dynamic, she's faced with questions about authenticity. Was that version of herself real? Is the person she is without you more or less authentic than the one she was with you? These aren't simple questions. They touch on something fundamental about how we construct our sense of self through our connections with others, and they're questions she now has to face. Stage 5. The recognition of irreversibility. The final and most powerful stage arrives when she realizes that this loss isn't temporary, that this isn't a game you're playing or a phase you're going through. This recognition often comes in waves. First, disbelief. This can't be happening. He'll come back around. Then bargaining. If I could just talk to him one more time, I could fix this. But eventually, acceptance. He's really gone. Not physically, but emotionally. The connection we had doesn't exist anymore. This is when she understands that something fundamental has changed in you. Not because you're trying to prove a point, but because you've genuinely evolved beyond the dynamic you once shared. And here's the truth most men never grasp. This final stage is actually liberating for both of you, because a relationship built on genuine desire rather than obligation or history or convenience can only exist when both people freely choose it. When one person has truly moved on, the authentic connection is already gone. Her recognition of this fact isn't about punishing her or winning some game. It's about truth finally breaking through illusion. And truth, however painful, is always the path to growth. What makes this stage so profound is its finality. There's something uniquely clarifying about accepting that a door has truly closed, not just been shut temporarily, but sealed permanently. In that clarity, painful as it is, lies the seed of a new beginning. For both of you, the aftermath. What happens next? Now, here's what typically follows this realization. Some women will make desperate attempts to recapture your attention. This isn't manipulation. It's a natural response to loss. The intensity of these attempts usually corresponds to how deeply she valued what she had with you. Others will move quickly into anger or blame, not because they hate you, but because anger feels more empowering than grief. Many will revise history, convincing themselves they never really cared that much anyway. This is self-protection, and it's completely understandable. But beneath all these reactions is a fundamental truth. When someone truly values what they had with you, losing it changes them. Not because you're irreplaceable as a person, but because the specific dynamic between you was unique, as all human connections are. And here's the part most people miss. This process isn't about causing pain. It's not about revenge or teaching lessons. It's simply what happens when authentic change occurs. When your energy genuinely shifts. When your focus legitimately moves elsewhere. Because at the end of the day, the most powerful force in human dynamics isn't manipulation or games or strategies. It's truth. The truth of where your energy flows. The truth of what you genuinely value, the truth of who you've become. And when that truth no longer includes someone who once thought they had a permanent place in your life, the realization is seismic. Not because you're trying to create an effect, but because reality itself has shifted. And she can feel it. Remember this, The moment someone realizes they've lost you often becomes a catalyst for their own growth. Not because you orchestrated it that way, but because loss has a unique way of clarifying what truly matters. In that space, the vacuum created by your absence, she has an opportunity to confront truths about herself she might have been avoiding, about what she truly values, about how she shows up in relationships, about the difference between wanting someone and genuinely appreciating them. This isn't about inflicting pain, it's about understanding that sometimes the kindest thing we can do for another person is to stop pretending, to stop maintaining connections that have already dissolved on an energetic level. Because in that honesty, however difficult, lies the possibility for both people to find something more authentic, whether together or apart. Inside your mind, you already know this. The moment someone realizes they've lost you is the moment they see your worth most clearly. Not because you're trying to prove anything, but because some truths only become visible in absence. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding the natural consequences of authentic growth and genuine change. Remember, true power isn't found in making others feel small. It's found in becoming so focused on your own path that those who once took you for granted suddenly realize exactly what they're missing. Build yourself. Focus forward. Let the rest unfold naturally. This is Inside the Mind, where we explore the truths most aren't ready to see. Until next time.